Now it's 6:37, you're watching Good Morning Britain. A simple blood test could allow doctors to spot signs of lung cancer 5 years before the disease shows up on traditional scans.
Yeah, extraordinary, isn't it? Although more research, of course, is needed, early results from a scientific trial seem to be able to predict whether a patient will contract the disease, which could, of course, revolutionise the detection of lung cancer. More than 46,000 people are diagnosed with the disease in the UK every year. Of those, more than 35,000 die from the disease, making it Britain's biggest cancer killer. Now, this test could help identify high-risk cases early, making successful treatment all the more likely.
Well, Dr. Hillary is here. So how would this test work then, Hills?
It's very promising news. All cells release chemicals into the bloodstream, which you can measure in many instances. And when cells become cancerous, they release those chemicals in greater amounts. So we already have tests that where we can look at tumour markers for, say, ovarian cancer, testicular cancer, liver cancer, and we can look at DNA changes, gene markers for breast cancer, as you know. So here's a test that appears to be very favourable for the detection of lung cancer many years before symptoms arise, by which time it's already in late-stage disease, which is difficult to treat, or before scans can pick it up. So it's really promising.
Well, and here we talk about early detection and how crucial that is. I mean, when we talk about the difference between living or, sadly, not living if you've detected lung cancer, that's absolutely what early detection can allow.
It's absolutely key, because if we can detect it before scans detect it and before symptoms arise, we can carry out surgery, which is curative. So we cure the patient. If you wait until symptoms have developed, the outlook after 1 year is really poor for lung cancer. So this early detection is really positive news, and the studies looked really promising. I mean, 6,000 people were tested. 6,000 people were in a high-risk group, heavy smokers for a long period of time, and of those 6,000, about 1 in 10 had these markers that were detectable. And in that 600, 200 had nodules, which could have been cancerous or benign, and 16 were found to have lung cancer.
Gosh.
So we detected it many, many years before scans would have detected it.
So can people go to their doctor and say, I want that test now, I'm worried, or not quite?
Not at this stage. We need to further assess how accurate it is, how specific it is, so that we're not getting false positives, false negatives. We get that on scans anyway in the early stages, but if we can find a marker which is very specific, very accurate, we can then target those people we investigate further, because we can't scan everybody at risk. But it does mean that we can focus on those people who have these markers in the blood.
So what's the sort of time frame?
Well, more work needs to be done, so hopefully within the next couple of years we've got something that gets us closer to earlier diagnosis.
This is very promising, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.